think Utopia's mission is very simple. We want to give our clients something that's affordable. We have always been an affordable company rather than premium luxury. Utopia's role is trying to be a leader, trying to get people around work to make Phuket not just the best province, but be the most dominant province. In certain ways, we also aspire to make it more better than Bangkok. We want to make it as powerful as Monaco. Let's be honest, not everybody knows a condo,
Right.
but what makes a condo tick? If the design is unique, it will obviously make you think twice. Whatever we build, we make sure that we build according to the standards. That doesn't harm the environment, and it's eco-friendly projects. We always say don't trust us by our words, but trust us by our actions. What separates us is that kind of project can't be built anymore.
Why not?
Because of the rules and regulation change. There's no other land available of that kind of magnitude. What you have bought already is pristine for life.
Welcome to another episode of the Thaiger podcast, where we bring you in-depth conversations with the minds shaping Thailand's industries. Today, we're diving into the world of real estate innovation with Utopia Corporation, Phuket's trailblazing development company. Since their start in 2015, Utopia has redefined the landscape with groundbreaking projects across hospitality, residential, commercial, and entertainment sectors. From themed condos to luxury collaborations with Tonino Lamborghini, Utopia is setting new standards in sustainability, connectivity, and community engagement. Join us as we explore their inspiring journey, industry insights, and a vision for the future of urban living.
All right, well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Thaiger podcast. Today, I'm joined with Jay from Utopia. Now, Jay, could you please introduce yourself very quickly?
Sure. So I'm the executive director of Utopia Corporation. I've been part of the company for 4 years. I started as an investor in Phuket, and I saw this huge company, Utopia, and I met the existing owner at that time and took over. And it's been a great journey of 4 years.
4 years, yeah. But the company started back in 2015, is that correct?
Exactly. Yeah. Its inception was then. The company was founded on the Chinese beliefs early on, in the sense that Chinese were big buyers in Phuket. So it was the first company that targeted mainland Chinese buyers.
Okay, so there was a very specific focus.
100% specific. Yeah.
Has that carried over? Is there still...
It has carried over, but it has changed and diversified to many markets. For example, Russian, European, and Thai has been a big market now.
Oh, even the local Thais themselves.
Yeah, we try to push our bit to them.
Yeah, and how about the Russian demographic down in Phuket that's been exploding lately?
I think in the last 2 years, it was almost 100% explosion.
Oof.
And I think just last year, I think we sold about 200 or 300 units just to Russians by themselves, because the war was a factor. And I think also the way that people wanted to migrate into a safer zone. And the Russians love the weather in Phuket.
Yeah, obviously coming from the harsh winters of Siberia, I think Phuket is a little more attractive.
The warm weather, the beautiful of nature and people is just a wonderful culture.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Some people say it's almost, there's like a second invasion going on from Russia into Phuket.
Actually, Phuket is a utopia in itself.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, it's a world on itself. It's an island that is so pristine that I think it's something that everyone should see.
Yeah, the beauty of Phuket is that it is an island, but it also has it's a big island. There's so much to do there, and there's so much activity. 100%. So there's tons of different communities. It's a great place to have a family, and obviously for vacations. Let's not get that wrong either. No, a little slice of paradise, I think, too.
100%. And I think in terms of business, it's the second highest GDP contributing apart from Bangkok. So I think that speaks volume.
Yeah, I think, it's pretty crazy. Phuket is it feels like its own entity down there in a lot of ways, that's for sure. Well, now how would you define Utopia's mission, I guess? Like, what's the point?
I think Utopia's mission is very simple. We want to give our clients something that's affordable. We have always been an affordable company rather than premium luxury that only certain people can afford. We have delved in every side of housing. We have done villas, we've done townhouses, condos. We were also the first company to bring a European brand, Tonino Lamborghini, to Phuket. And we also did it with co-venture of Botanica, which does primarily luxury villas. So Utopia's role is trying to be a leader, trying to get people around work, get European brands to make Phuket not just the best province, but be the most dominant province. And I think in certain ways, we also aspire to make it more better than Bangkok, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Do you need what's the population of Phuket? Do you know? Like,
I think it's approaching 1 million.
1 million. Yeah, we need 20 more, I think, to get up to the Bangkok.
I think we don't need the huge population. I think we need more of the ideas.
Yeah. Oh,
You know, we want to make it as powerful as Monaco.
Well, and I love that ambition. That's wonderful. That's an interesting thing that you say that actually. Man, this is a little off topic, but they've been talking about bringing casinos. You brought up Monaco. Like, is that something that?
I think it's in the works.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be difficult, but I think it's in the works. And if that happens, it just brings another dynamic to Phuket.
Right. Yeah. I think well on the way. Like, they've recently been filming. They've done a lot of like tax credits for film.
Yeah.
Hollywood productions, that kind of thing happening here in Thailand, with White Lotus very famously being shot recently here. I think that was on Samui, but they also shot some in Phuket as well.
Yeah.
How do you see that impacting the future of the attractiveness of moving to Thailand?
I think the attractiveness to move to Thailand is always the best for two reasons. Because Thailand is always a neutral country. It's a welcoming country. The culture is embedded into every Thai person to be respectful, and it's a country that manages all religious beliefs very effectively. And like, even in Phuket, there's every kind of temple from every religion, and you see all kind of people. So I think it's something that will just increasingly grow and cater to a lot of people who would like to move to Phuket.
Yeah, it's one of those things. As an outsider myself, like I lived a lot of time in Asia, in China mostly, but Thailand wasn't really on my radar until I got locked down here accidentally. It was like I was living in China, and all hell was breaking out during the pandemic, and I was like, all right, I need to get out of China while this is happening just in China. I didn't expect it to go all over the world. Only 2 flights available. One was to Kunming, which was still in China. That wasn't helping. And the other one was to Bangkok. So that's how I ended up here, just by chance. And after arriving here and seeing like how diverse it is, how welcoming it is, how tolerant it is, like speaking of the religious aspects too, like it's unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. I think it's something that when people, you know, it's like people have to travel. We go to a lot of different countries, but usually, oh yeah, I've been there, I've done it. That was great. I don't need to go again.
Yep.
Thailand is not like that. Thailand is definitely something where people get the bug, and they just want to be here. And
absolutely, I think in your case you found paradise accidentally, and since you've been here, so I think that's the thing with Bangkok and Thailand in general, that it's a country that doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you come from, you can find a home here.
Yeah, and you're a big part of making that. Oh,
and that's what we do in Utopia. Therefore, the name. We used to say that, you know, you can make your own Utopia, buying a product of ours. So that's what we cater to, and it's worked for 10 years. Actually, we complete 10 years in a couple of days, starting next year. Yeah.
Congratulations, the old 10-year anniversary. It's a big one.
Yeah.
Now, some people would say Utopia has been described as like a family-driven organization. What do you mean by that?
I think the family ties would be the way we treat everybody. We look at ourselves as one team, and I keep saying to my team that this is not my company. It's everybody's company from who works here. Every part of this company is yours. But if we talk about family ties, this has never been a family driven company. It's always been one person initially, and now me, myself, and my partner.
Yeah. How many do you have on your team?
We have about, if we talk about employees, 200.
200.
If we talk about senior management levels, about 15. Yeah.
But that's important to create that sort of culture that's like an open and welcoming environment, to have everybody feel a sense of stewardship over, you know, like it's something that we take here at the Thaiger very seriously, right? We're all part of a larger organization, and having that sense of pride where you're doing, it's important to develop that culture, I think.
100%. We make sure that everybody's inclusive, and our team is very diverse because we have all kind of people working for us. We have Chinese, Indians, Thais, Russians, Italians, French, you name it.
No Americans? Come on.
Americans as well.
Nice.
Every demographic.
Nice. Oh, that's great. I love it. Well, okay, so things are going great now.
Yeah.
Can't always have been the case. What were some of the challenges that you faced at Utopia in early days?
I think the challenge was to cater certain demographic, let's say Russians and Chinese, because people do have a belief of fear sometimes while buying a property, that how the investment is going to go. But what we did is we showed them the other side, which is the building side, that we actually build what we say, and you can trust us by that. I mean, we always say don't trust us by our words, but trust us by our actions. And that's was one way to crack beliefs into the customers that we are trustable.
Show, don't tell, kind of a thing, right? Yeah. So does that add another level of difficulty, though, having to be like the sort of one-stop shop in that kind of way?
Not really. Actually, being a one-stop shop is kind of good because the clients don't need to find anything else. We can cater to their rental needs. We can cater to their home needs, everything they want. So actually, we are not just Utopia Corporation. We also Utopia Hospitality Group, which means we cater to our clients. We provide them every kind of service that they would be looking for. Yeah.
So it's it's streamlined options then for the customers, I guess, but just puts a little more work on the back end. But that's why you have your whole team there. That's
we are more than happy to take their needs and work hard on it.
Nice. That's makes it easier. That's for sure. I love that. Well, you guys have themed condos and residences, right? You guys are trying to tell me a little bit more about that.
So we have a condo which is very unique because it has 7 floors, and each floor has a different design.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of the very first condos in Phuket which cater to that kind of you could say crazy because for our contractors it was a nightmare that every floor has a different design. The contractors just want to do plain and easy, like just one design and then finish it. But we have a British ancient design. We have a, let's say, super luxury design. We have all kind of designs, which just makes it very interesting. So I think that obviously catered to all our clients' needs.
You gotta take me through it. We got 7 levels, and each one is different.
I might not be able to name the specifics, but each level has a different tone of color.
Okay. Yeah.
We have a Japanese style. We have a sea and ocean style, which is blue and white combination. Then we have the ancient style. Then we have the jungle style, and then we have the blue style, which is like full blue room with blue lights. It doesn't make you go crazy, but it just makes you go wow. I never know that blue could go well with everything.
It's pretty wacky, I gotta say. Is this a property that's up for sale, or is it something that can be rented out?
It's for up for sales, and what happens is that after the client buys it, because most of our clients are obviously from overseas, so they buy it for an investment.
Turn it into a rental property.
So we turn it into a rental property, and I think these kind of properties with this unique design definitely caters to the renters.
That's a very fascinating take on that, obviously. So you're making these sort of the gimmick is part of the sales pitch, I guess, right?
Exactly. I think in today's time, let's be honest, not everybody knows a condo,
right?
But what makes a condo tick? The design, the facilities, or something. So if the design is unique, it will obviously make you think twice rather than just a plain condo with nothing.
That's a very fair point. Obviously, if there's something that catches your eye and you're like, "Well, that's kind of funky," because like you said, it can feel very cookie cutter sometimes. Like when you're going to having these condo experiences, which can be fine, right? Like, because a lot of people, if you're coming to visit, the condo is not necessarily a place that you're spending all of your time or whatever. But
for sure.
I mean, come on, you might as well, like, if you're having this holiday experience, you might as well have an amazing place to rest your head.
Yeah, I think
at the end of the day.
One factor is that our clients love the balcony, because again, Phuket is a sunshine island. The sun is good, the breeze is good, so clients prefer to be outside. And actually, in Phuket, I don't think it's holidays, but a lot of people like to spend outside time. So that's sometimes a culture of what Bangkok doesn't share, because Bangkok we just want cold air because we're used to the brutal hot.
Yeah.
So Phuket is a different story on that.
Yeah. That's you got a beach there. Here we have the Chao Phraya River, not exactly as nice to swim in.
Oh no, I don't think we should swim in that.
Not at all. But I think it's a fair point. And I don't know. I want to see that listing when we finish up a little later.
Sure.
Actually, maybe we'll get some pictures of that. Throw that into the podcast. I think that should be fun.
Yeah, we can do that.
Cool. Well, all right. What are some other things that separate you guys from the competitors in the landscape down there?
I think what separates us is because we have a project on every side of the island. So we have something at the north, which is the Mai Khao area, which is next to the airport.
Right.
Then we have something way down the south.
Like Nai Han?
Nai Han.
Yeah.
You've probably been there.
I have, yeah. That's my favorite part of the island, I gotta say.
Yeah, mine too, because we already did 7 projects there.
Oh.
Actually, we are one of the largest concentrated project developers there.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, what differentiates us is that we have a project everywhere. We already made our mark everywhere. So what we're just trying to do now is bring something new to the clients because the dynamics have changed. Obviously, pre-COVID, things were different. After COVID, things are different. And I think that the Russian war and the migration is obviously settling it down. So now lots of developers have to think that what's our cater to our clients? How do we still keep on their needs? What do we deliver that make them buy? Because now people just don't buy the sake of buying. You really have to sell and what you're selling. Yeah.
So yeah, it's it's a marketplace, right? So that's the whole point is you have to find ways to carve out your niches and make yourself attractive in the landscape. But having options all over the island is obviously a plus.
Yeah.
But I think you're winning me over more with the uniqueness of the design. That sounds like a lot more fun.
I mean, not just the uniqueness of design. We also have one of the only projects I think in Karon area. Have you been there?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So we have one of the condominiums there, which is on one of the highest location point. You can search it up, Utopia Corporation.
Okay.
You get the best view of Coron, entire sea area from that project. What separates us is that kind of project can't be built anymore.
Why not?
Because of the rules and regulation change. So and actually there's no other land available of that kind of magnitude.
So you got grandfathered in a little bit.
Yeah, so it's like what you have bought already is pristine for life. So that's again the uniqueness of Phuket, that only a certain amount of land will be sold which has a good view or something. So once you buy it, it's gone. There will never be another thing like that.
Yeah, limited space. It is a big island, but it's going fast. That's for sure. I'm just trying to think of like how I've stayed in some beautiful vistas in Phuket, and one of the things that I always think about is like, the views are amazing, but then I always like think about how to get on the roads all the way up there. Like sometimes.
The roads are adventurous,
yes,
to say the least. But I think that what makes it nice as well, because it's not straight lines. It's all zigzag over. So I think the people love it.
I'm used to island driving. My mother has lived in the Caribbean for like 12 years now, and I always go to visit her. And yeah, it's for me, it's nicer because the scooter culture isn't a big thing over there. Like I like just getting on a bike on the island and just cruising around, feeling the wind in my hair, that kind of a thing. It is a very unique experience that I feel is something in Southeast
I think it's
Asia.
also about the fresh air, because here, sorry to say, but sometimes when you're on the bike, I think you know what I'm talking about. It's just that there's no fresh air. You're like taking in air that's highly polluted. But I think in Phuket, I can say the opposite.
I agree completely. Sometimes I'm on the back of a Grab driver and there's this 1970s bus coughing, smoke at me. I'm like, okay, can we get around this? Definitely not the case down on the island. That's for sure. Lovely stuff. Well, what are the things that are, well, we've talked about, I guess, like, how the war with the Russians coming down. What are some other aspects of the market in Phuket that are sort of shaping the industry in the future?
I think it's the properties that make not just a good investment but a good facilities, because obviously there's a huge competition. Let's say every other province is a competitor of Phuket, because every province caters to some kind of condominium or villas. Now what we can do apart from the migration factors of, let's say, even Israel and Palestine war, or let's say the Russian and Ukraine war, I think the other thing that caters is the facilities and the things you give. Like some projects which are our competitors, but we don't look them as competitors, we look them as friends in the sense of that we are catering to a need. It's about 12 to 15 facilities. You name it, from sauna to shuttle bus to every kind of thing that certain places in Bangkok might offer.
It's one of those things I feel like maybe with many of these developments, they're trying to sort of build a community out of it, and having those facilities and those options available foster that sense. I think. What are some of the more important aspects, do you think, when creating these developments?
I think safety, number one, and I think affordability, because the majority that are buying in the range of, let's say, something that's 5 million to 7 million maximum. So affordability and safety, and again the durability. I see lots of projects in Phuket which after 3-4 years they look hand-me-down and they look very bad. But we are proud to say that we have one of the very first projects in the Nehan area like 7 years ago when we started, and it's still looking good right now. Yeah.
Keep it like, yes, being near the beach, salt water, that kind of thing. You got to build things to last, man.
Yeah.
It's
And I think with Phuket also, when there's a very bad weather, it's quite bad. Actually, this recently in September and October we had some of the worst weather in Phuket. Yeah, lots of rain, very difficult.
Yeah, I was hearing about some landslides potentially in certain areas too. But that's why it's important to make sure that you're constructing everything as
100%.
Yeah. In any case, there's a lot of talk about sustainability. Let's say when it comes to urban development. How are you guys acknowledging the environmental impact of your development projects?
So what we do is we try to implement the factors of greenness. We work with lots of companies that work like certifying you as a builder that's eco-friendly. So that's kind of things that we try to do. And actually, we have done it for the past 7 years, where we are one of the only projects that surrounds ourselves by a lot of greens. And whatever we build, we make sure that we build according to the standards that doesn't harm the environment, and it's eco-friendly projects. Yeah.
How do you go about getting those certifications? Like, what are they looking for?
I think they're just looking for basically making sure that everything that you do have a touch of nature. That's the best way to explain. In the sense of zero waste, how you get rid of the waste, how you keep sure that you are at least dedicating 30% to the green side. That's also a requirement by EIA.
Yeah, it's it's very interesting because like obviously there's a race, like lots of development going on all over the place, and it seems like real estate is a massive area for investment. And I think that's one of those things where not to get too philosophical, but when it comes to capitalism, right, like grow, money, the sustainability needs to be in focus, especially with places like Phuket, where nature is such an important aspect of the draw of the island in the first place, right? It's not gonna be the same if it looks like Bangkok out here down there. So that's a very important aspect. I'm glad that you guys are taking that seriously.
Actually, to add on that, it's not just the factors, but again, one good thing you mentioned is for it not to look like Bangkok. It actually won't, because there's kind of a rules that you can only build let's say 30% of on the island. So there is a rule that certain lands are not for sale. So the government works really well on the maintaining the pristine and maintaining the focus that we have to keep it green. So you can't build on anywhere. And actually with Phuket, the way it's a mountainous island, you actually can't build on anywhere. So the land that's available where it's like proper to build will soon be running out. And when it runs out, it will be, that's it.
Yeah.
So it will never reach the stage of like Bangkok, where it's like where we are right now in Ashok, where it's buildings everywhere. I don't think it would reach there, but it would be the clauses and the laws that are there in Phuket. I think it will be sustainable in what's happening.
Yeah, that's great to hear, because I love going to Phuket and I don't really want it to change. It's sometimes especially in high season, it can feel crowded enough already sometimes. That's for sure. What are some of the I guess the more recent projects that you're working on these days?
We just launched a project, Utopia Glam. We made it luxury yet affordable. So we launched it in March, and the sales are very good. And again, with that, our cater was to do something luxurious, but again at an affordable price. So it's a blend. You get the worth of your money, but you don't have to spend too much.
That's nice. I like the sound of that. That's for sure. What about this Tonino Lamborghini collaboration? What was that all about?
So it's basically the son of the Lamborghini himself. He loves Phuket, and our previous team was very, very involved with him and his team. So we decided to do a project with his brand. And we also decided that we would like to bring another developer, which was Botanica Luxury Villas, and we did it into a three companies together, and we did that, and we did that last year around June. Yeah, when we launched it.
Nice. Well, what exactly made it so special?
It was special because it was the first, let's say, like luxury brand, and a brand that was known worldwide.
Right, having that name attached
Having
to
that
it,
name
right?
and bringing it to Phuket, so kind of elevating Phuket, because if we look in Dubai, we look in all the other countries, they have, I think they just recently launched a Bugatti residence or something in Saudi or in Dubai, but that's something that we wanted to also show, that Phuket has that kind of power that can bring.
The prestige.
It was our start. It was our bit to start something. Yeah.
Cool. Well, now the ball's rolling, so hopefully there's more to come.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. What do you see any other, what would be partnerships in the future that you think would be
I think
interesting?
partnership would be like we would like to bring more brands, to be honest, more recognizable brands, more powerful brands, and also kind of cater to some of the ultra luxury minded clients that want something that's more than just a villa.
Right. Yeah. Ultra. That's, I guess that's part of elevating the Phuket status, right?
Yeah.
Because we do think about Dubai a lot, Monaco, as you said.
Yeah.
Those places. It's funny because the lifeblood of Thailand is tourism. At the end of the day, I feel like in ways that those places maybe not so much. There's other things that are driving those economies. So yeah, I'm curious to see what the future looks like and what your role in it will be. Cool. So how do you incorporate these developments with the community of Phuket? Is there ways that you get them connected?
We get connected because, again, what I mentioned earlier was with the diversity. Because our clients are all demographics, and we have those people working with us. So they can connect. An Indian client can connect with one of our Indian sales director who knows what story would connect, who knows that what they're looking for. So that makes it very, very, very easy to sell and to kind of share ideas on that. Yeah.
Do you mind if I pick your brain a little bit further on that, going into the specific demographics?
Sure.
So let's say for the Russian tourist that's coming through, what is something that might sell them and more on one of your projects?
What would sell them as well is that our sales who work have bought properties already in Phuket. So they sell their story. If you can reflect and see your reflection in the mirror, that's what our sales do. Like most clients come here, like Russians, say, okay, there's a nice place, I might buy something. So next time when I come, I don't have to go to a hotel during high season when they charge me 20,000 baht. I can just go to my condo. So that's the idea that our sales who have been here for many, many years, like one of our sales have been here for about 20 years. So he sells that to the clients, that what's the idea of Phuket and where Phuket is trying to go.
Do you find that certain demographics are more particular for different areas of Phuket? Or?
I think sure, yeah. I think if you look at Russian, anywhere is fine.
Yeah.
But again, specific come down to individuals. Same with Chinese. Yes, maybe some other demographics would just like be, I just want north, I just want south, I won't go anywhere near some other place. So yeah, but mostly people are accepting of every area in Phuket.
Yeah, it's becoming like Phuket's just becoming such an incredible melting pot of cultures, and you go down there, you see menus are in Thai, English, Chinese, Russian, and it seems like all parts of the island are sort of open for business for
100%.
Wherever you're coming from. I think the future looks bright, but I'm also curious to see what do you think this will have as an impact on maybe like property prices overall in Phuket?
Obviously, it will increase, but we should keep it realistic because it's a much smaller place. So, but prices already have gone crazy in certain places where there's huge demand, like let's say Bang Thao. Did you visit Bang Thao during your time?
I have, yeah. The Muay Thai gyms over there. It's a big part of what we cover sometimes. Yeah.
So Bang Thao is kind of becoming like Sukhumvit.
Really.
So when you mention like your favorite part, Nai Han in the south, it's still an area that's kept pretty much to itself. Again, with not too many developments, and what Utopia does that we try to follow that. We don't want to overcrowd anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Nai Han. Still my favorite. Why do you think? I guess it's because it's on the far end away from the airport, right? It's just so far away.
I think the best thing about Nai Han is because there's two beaches, Rawai Beach and Naihan Beach, which
Yeah.
is very accessible. Actually, in our project, it's the only property that you can access two beaches.
Oh, nice.
And we take pride in that. We helped the government develop roads. We were in partner on that. So we try to build more infrastructure with our neighbors and whatever other developments we have nearby. So our plan is not just to make, but also develop. Because again, with Phuket, if we talk about development side, maybe lesser than Bangkok, but we're trying to make it as better as possible. Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. Well, you mentioned Botanica earlier, which is interesting to me because I was just at a Botanica development a month or two ago. I can't remember. It was beautiful. It was amazing too. So they're doing great work. What was it like? Were there any challenges or what was the experience, I guess I could ask, in that collaboration?
I think the experience was good. I think because we come from different departments. They only focus mostly on luxury villas, and we do all over, and we are more mass market with the prices. Their prices are a bit higher, so it wasn't a problem to work, and not just because of what we do is different, but because they are a local developer, and we started as a local developer as well. So we had lots of common factors rather than different factors.
And you can learn from each other too,
100%,
right?
because I know the owner really well, and he's a designer himself. So a person who bakes his own pie, you can trust him.
Fair enough. That's it's nice to have that sort of cordial relationship with other people in the industry. How did maybe I asked, maybe you told me, but how did the Lamborghini name get involved? You said the guy loves Phuket, but how did it get him on board with this project?
we had certain partners that was probably putting the idea in his mind. And we had some friends
Incepting, huh?
and we had our sales director, who's again Italian, and was able to put his charm to Mr. Tonino that Phuket should be your next place.
Where else has he worked around the world?
I think he's done big things in Dubai and Miami. I think in almost every country.
Wow. Okay. So on the map then, finally.
Yeah. They are very, very well connected.
Interesting. Miami. I'm from Miami. I gotta check that out.
And the moment he just says his name, I think no questions asked.
Yeah. I mean, that's I've heard of it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But it is interesting to me because obviously Lamborghini, like design, is something that comes to mind when it comes to that. What are some unique aspects of that project?
Okay, again, obviously standards have to be met because they're a big company and they have very specific standards. So it's to follow those and to make sure that it's the best project, because we have our reputation and their reputation to protect. So it really needs to be very good.
Right, top of the line. But is there, I don't know, any distinguishing features or something like that maybe are kind of his signature?
Yeah, probably his signature, his specific brand colors, and his signature things that he normally adds in every project. Yeah.
Interesting. So he has a personal touch in all of these things, right?
And the main thing is we put the Tonino name, the name in front, as that's one of the requirements. And that's what people want to see.
Right, of course. Like that's what you're paying for in a lot of ways, right? Yeah, it makes sense. Well, I mean, you guys have been working with amazing people from around the world. You've also been acknowledged for the work that you've done. So you've won some awards like the FIA BCI 2020 Prix of Excellence and Luxury Lifestyle Awards. How do these awards and accolades, what did you do to earn them? I guess I could ask you first. And how does it feel being recognized for the work that you've been doing?
Firstly, we worked very hard. We made sure our designs were meeting the standards and were catering to the needs of the clients, which I mentioned very strongly. And we had lots of good partners which catered and showed our work to lots of people. They shared our work. So that was a good thing. And how does it feel? It feels very good because obviously if you're working for 10 years, I've been with the company for 4 years, but we look at the inception in 2015. It's a long way.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a medal.
That's
that we carry very, very high with us, and we wake up every day to earn that success. Like we pay the rent every day for the success that we have.
Yeah, it's dividends, right? Like you put in the effort, and then it pays off with things like this.
Yeah.
So 2014. 2014 started? Was that it? 2015. Excuse me. Yeah. What was the what did it look like at its foundational levels, and how did it develop over the years?
I mean, when it was founded, it was like a very small company with a couple of groups of agents that had a dream to. So even the owner, who was initially the owner, was an agent. So his dream was to do something and cater to a specific demographic. So it started very small, and today now we can say proudly that it's very big. But when it started small, obviously there was lots of challenges to not just sell Utopia, but to cater people like direction to Phuket. Because then for Phuket it was just a holiday destination.
Right.
It wasn't like people looking at it as an investment place or staying. And yeah, in 10 years it's elevated.
Yeah, it seems like the reputation of Phuket has shifted in that time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the future looks more like it's residential. People can live a life there. And for someone like me, okay, so a little bit personal on my side. I lived on an island for a little while, and I was bored to tears. I couldn't handle it at all, like, because my island was much smaller, much less to do. So it was wonderful if you go for like 2 weeks a year, which I now do. Hi, Mom. Visit her every once in a while. Got to. But I love visiting her for those 2 weeks or whatever, every 2 years. But if I had to be there forever, I would be bored to death. That is not the case in Phuket at all. And there's just so much more going on. And
it was the case initially, again, because again it's a small island. It's a bit smaller than, let's say, Singapore. Not too smaller, but it's a bit smaller than Singapore. So again, let's look at Singapore. If you live in Singapore, actually, half of my family is from Singapore. So if you live there for 2 weeks, you don't get bored.
Yeah.
There is lots of things to do and keep yourself busy. That's what Phuket made itself into, that offer the facilities and the things that people can do and they don't feel bored. I have people who have said that, hey, don't you ever want to come to Bangkok? You know, because Bangkok is my hometown. So like, don't you want to come? They're like, no, we want to stay here till we die.
Yeah, there's plenty to keep you busy down there. That's for sure.
Definitely,
yeah. Where's your favorite? Just a side note. What's your favorite thing to do down there? What do you like to get up to?
I just like the viewpoints. I'm sure. Have you been to Prom Type Cape?
Don't think so.
It's just a viewpoint where it's amazing sunset.
Yeah.
So, I think going to the viewpoints and just chilling is my favorite thing.
I was there just 2 weeks ago, I think, for some hotel opening, and my friend owns, I think it's like Treehouse Cafe is what it's called.
Yes.
Further south on the island. Do you know it?
Yeah.
That is an amazing sunset view there.
Yes,
so I'm agreeing with you. I think that's one of the best parts of the island is to be able to see those views. Never even heard of Bangla. Anyways, Bangla Road. Sorry.
Yes, Bangla Road.
That's See, I told you I'm not even good at it. But no, it's like whatever you're up to, right? If you want to get up early and go enjoy like a seafaring adventure, if you want to party late into the night, if you want to like
everything,
it's all available and at the highest levels too. It's not it's not just like, you know, like the nightclubs or whatever. It's not like just it's like a bar with some drinks. It's like some of the world's best
full
things
package.
like that. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's I'm a little jealous that you get it. Sometimes. You know, like here at the office, we like they started in Phuket. They were doing this out of Phuket at first, and they're like, should we go back there? Like they think about it all the time.
Please do.
I got some loyalties to Bangkok too, though.
Yeah,
it's a tough decision. It's nice that it's not too far away. We can actually go pretty regularly.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, back on topic. Let's get back over here. Started off small. Now you big.
Yeah.
How do you maintain all of the aspects of the quality, the sustainability across all of your projects as you're developing them?
I think it's having good people that work with us. I can give a shout out to Mr. Tong, who you just met earlier. He's been with us for 3 years. So it's working with people that really, really love the company. So they would put hours that is beyond the working hours, and that just makes it easier to maintain the qualities and make sure that it's a full running machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's having a full team together behind you and making sure that all of the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, that kind of a thing. And like I said, that's the whole point of like creating that culture of stewardship, so that everybody feels responsible for what they're doing and wanting to produce good work. So, do you take some sense of pride in having instilled that culture?
I think it's what we learn actually. So I think I have learned from my team, and my team has learned from me. So we learn together. So it's built on learning, and it's built on seeing each other and knowing that this is our dream.
That's the point.
If they share our dream, I think that what makes it very easy.
That's wonderful. Yeah, because that's the point of every enterprise is the collaborative effort that goes into it, and understanding that, like, hey, I know what I know, you know what you know, we can learn from each other, and as long as we trust each other and work together, then we'll all make it out better in this cooperation. So that's wonderful, man. I love hearing that. So, this is, it's just been almost 10 years now for you.
Yes.
I assume you're expecting many more years in the future. What are the plans for Utopia going into it?
We want to do new projects that, again, elevate it. It makes the market think. It's something that's new. It's the same thing that we have as any other industry. If we were an actor, if we were an industry, we just have to think like how we can make it more elevated. Like I think before we were talking about Squid Game, and we were talking about how we can make it elevated. So how they made such an amazing show that was global.
Gotta up the ante now, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if we cannot do great, we don't want to do it. That's our motto.
That's interesting. Well, can you give me some spoilers? Do you have any visions for greatness at the moment?
Yeah, we have lots of things working in the pipeline. So we are just tweaking and seeing and finding a right time to launch it. And obviously it's going to launch next year. So stay in tuned. Something very nice, very big, and very good is coming soon.
2025 is the 10-year anniversary, so I assume there's some big machinations in place for that then.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I'm waiting with bated breath.
Right.
Now, what are some... Okay, so we talked about quality, sustainability. What are some things that you'd like to see implemented across the industry that maybe aren't sort of standard at this point?
I think it's the, let's say, certain of the construction quality maybe. Because obviously the construction level in Bangkok is way higher than Phuket. So I would like the certain standards that we have in Bangkok to be implemented there as well. And I think we all need to make it even higher. And the reason because if we want to compete, we have to make ourselves better. So I think the construction guidelines and other places, other things have to be higher, more. Yeah.
I think it's probably one of those things where you're probably already taking that extra step.
Right. Yeah.
Where maybe some corner cutters are really not necessarily doing that, and
I think the safety in construction as well, because it's very important that people working in the construction sites are safe, and the materials and everything that's being used is for long lasting.
Yeah, I mean, it's an investment, right? Like, that's the whole point, is that this is not something that you want to just flip over in a year or two. It's something that people want to live in or use as an investment for a long period of time.
Definitely.
I'm curious to know, like, how are the building regulations different down there? Do you think it's a problem of bureaucracy, or is it like companies having too much influence?
I think just the way the province functions is totally different. So I think the bureaucracy has one thing to do with it, and just because certain rules there are different to here. So I think that's the thing that we need to maybe keep it aligned. Maybe like same thing in America, where every state can do its own thing.
Right.
So maybe we can have a unilateral one rule.
Yeah. It's do you see that happening in the near future, or is this
it's like the debate in America, with voter ID. Can every state get voter ID? So that's the same thing with us. Can every province follow the same rules? It's difficult, but I think it's optimistic.
Yeah, well, it's good to have hope, I think. That's for sure. But it does seem like I don't know, Thailand, it does operate in a very different way, though, right? Like, it doesn't seem like as an American, like, you've really touched a nerve with me there.
Yes.
Right there. But it does seem that Thailand does err on the side of practicality in a lot of ways. So, but at the same time, these sort of regulations, a lot of them can be written in, let's say written in blood or whatever, but there's some bad things have to happen before the regulations change.
Yeah.
It would be lovely to see if the government could get ahead of these things and sort of implement these.
I think I'm optimistic that change will happen, but That's how changes are. Either there needs to be an impact for the change, or either it happens gradually.
Right. Yeah.
So we hope it will happen gradually, because one thing is very important. It's not just the government; it's also the people. Because if government and people work together, then only the success happens. So I think developers have to raise the standards, and again, with that being, then I think everything else will follow as well.
Right. So that it's always a public sector, private sector collaboration, and that's I think you've hit the nail on the head right there.
Yeah.
It's like if we're setting those standards ourselves, like getting ahead of the game,
Exactly.
then the government will catch up to us anyways, like
Yes.
that kind of a thing. Interesting you say that, like again, off topic.
Yeah.
But the cannabis industry here in Thailand is, I hear we've done work with many of the different farms and things like that. They face a similar struggle here, where like that is a very controversial topic in and of itself. So many of the people who are very serious players here, they want to be well above and beyond what is required of the government, and in order to make sure that like whatever, like that they're being held to the highest standards, they're holding themselves to higher standards than even the government would, and in that case, the government is also catching up, I think, to them in that kind of way. There's tons of money pouring into Thailand,
Yes.
no matter what the industry is.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting to see more international standards being
Definitely.
adopted across industries is what I'm saying. Sorry, didn't mean to. I'm not even smoking these days, but in any case.
No, it's okay. Maybe we all are guilty of something. Yeah.
Come on. It's legal here. We're cool. Well, yeah. But it's just fascinating to see how many different operators are coming. Do you see a lot of competition from other developers? Like you guys started off with really heavily Chinese focus in mind. Now you've broadened that aspect.
Yeah.
Are there a lot of other international competitors coming in and stepping in on the market?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are local they are foreign developers. Like in Phuket, I've seen Israeli developers. I've seen Russian. I've seen all kind of stuff. But they probably lack, which is very important. Again, it's not. It's maybe a good part or bad part. But again, if you're a Thai person, it's easier to do business. So that is one factor. And again, they are driven is more. But again, even if they're foreigners, they're doing some great work. Like just recently, we were at the Property Guru Awards, and we saw so many developers that were not Thai. So and they're doing some really good work. So. In the end, it's not competition. It's just like some ideas of theirs is just making, let's say the big players also look at their game. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they're bringing in fresh ideas, maybe that can be emulated and learned from. So I love that sense of that spirit that you have when approaching that, because there's always so much. In any country around the world, there's tons of protectionism around the concept of real estate.
Exactly.
It's become a big issue in like Canada and Australia and other places where there's big foreign buyers that are coming and just jacking up the prices basically by raising the real estate prices across the board. Thailand seems to have a different kind of approach a little bit. More welcoming, but also there is still a sense of protectiveness a little bit. They want to keep it affordable for Thais as well too.
Yeah, for sure, because I think it balances it really well, where it's protecting its own people, but it's also catering to the international needs, because in the end, the foreign investment is a huge part of the economy. So I think Thailand is doing really well on balancing those two factors. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a tightrope to walk. That's for sure. And no matter what, there's going to be people on either side that are going to be angry one way or the other. So I think having a little bit of patience and understanding and knowing that there's many interests on either side.
I think for sure, because I think we're not doing too bad. I think we're doing fine in balancing those two interests. Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. That's good news to me. Well, let's talk a little bit more about your personal experience and your own journey on in your position, mentoring so many people and bringing this whole team together. What are some challenges that you faced in your 4 years there, and what are some things that you're particularly proud of that you've done since joining?
I think again, elevating the construction, making sure the teams know what they're doing, making sure that we cater to other demographics and we do something that's different. So what I can take pride is that we have changed the direction into more wide scope. and growing much faster. So the things that when I took over were, let's say, a bit slow, or certain things were not in alignment, fixing those. So number one was fast construction. Number two is obviously standards, and the three is the vision that now we have. And since I've joined, we have done 2 new projects in the span of less than 1 year. And the first project already sold out in 3 months. The second is very well, 50-60% sold already. So it is doing something that's unique and high standards. That's my number one, high standards.
It sounds like it's moving fast, and apparently there's a lot of trust and faith in the Utopia brand for it to be selling so well. Can I ask, what were you doing before you got into all of this?
I was in other kind of markets, like I was doing textiles. I was a stock trader. I was a crypto. I wouldn't say a fanatic, but I would say more of the technology and the blockchain.
Right.
Not much of an investor, but more of the understanding of how it could play a big part into transactions. And that's one thing that we also have done. Since I've joined Utopia, 60% at times, but minimum of at least 45% of our transactions are all by cryptocurrencies.
Wow.
So that has definitely made it very good compared to other developers, which mostly doesn't accept crypto payments. I think they're very few.
That's very interesting. Yeah, it's saving on the bank fees, makes it much more instant transactions, that kind of a thing.
And it also plays with that trend right now where everybody wants to use cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, it seems like it. And because which cryptocurrencies are you using? Can I ask?
We use Bitcoin, we use Tether, we use USDT.
Okay, cool. So
USDT.
No meme coins yet.
No. we stay away from that.
That's smart, but it's also interesting to see that is that's something that sets you apart because it's very attractive to many people who are trying to move their money around in
Again with the war and everything, it was difficult to move funds.
Yeah,
as the government just wanted all the investment to be within the country.
Right. Yeah. So this gives people a little more freedom with their assets and to be able to get it out more quickly.
Yeah.
Interesting technology, man. Yeah, we've been covering a lot of that lately too.
Yeah.
I always kick myself because I've been teaching about cryptocurrencies since 2012. I used to be an economics teacher.
Right.
And I was like, this is going to be fascinating someday in the future. And I just never invested and gone on board. I could be buying one of these wonderful 7-storied houses that you're building down there in Phuket, and with all the different themes. I would just, oh well, I'll get them next time. It's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. What is something that let's say the people coming up behind you, other people that are starting to develop. What is some advice you would give to people that or maybe even to your younger self, if you could?
I think it's don't develop for the sake of the money. Develop for the sake of what you want to create different. Because if you create different and you create something that's unique, it will sell. If you're just thinking, I'll just do a development, I'll be a copy and paste, and I'll make money. It doesn't work like that.
That's fascinating.
It might have worked like that previously, but now I think it's very important that you do something that's gonna make somebody think like, oh, this is something really nice, and here's my hard-earned money.
Yeah, no, that's we have something similar in the content game, right? We just don't chase views, right? Don't just try to make whatever is like the thing. Yeah. Do you do what you think is good, create something you like and you're proud of, and the audience will find you.
Yeah, for sure.
It seems like a similar concept at play there. So
we want to give something there's a need in the market.
Yeah,
and sometimes people say, oh, it's difficult to find a need anymore because times have changed. I'm like, no, there's still something that if you do good, things will follow. Yeah,
there's consumers everywhere. People want stuff. Property on Phuket is definitely going to be a hot commodity for a long time to come, I think. So I
think people keep thinking like, hey, this is a fantastic place. I need to buy something.
Yeah. I'm sold. I love Phuket, man. I get down there. I try to get down there at least 3 or 4 times a year, I think. Usually we're working on projects or something like that, but sometimes I just like to go and veg out on a beach.
Yeah.
If I could ask you some other personal questions, where else? All right, Phuket's great. Where else do you like to travel in Thailand?
I think Chiang Mai is good, as the weather is much colder there. And I think I like the south a lot. Lots of the south provinces. Hat Yai is really good. Songkhla is really good. And I think, let's say, some other close neighboring places like in Bangkok, let us say Phetchabun region, or let's say Pattaya is fine.
Yeah, fine.
And yeah, fine. Yeah, but I think Pattaya has really taught Phuket not to make the mistakes they made.
That is a very interesting point that you've made there. Yeah, because Pattaya, I still love the city. I think it's a wonderful place. But also, they have I keep doing news stories about how they're trying to maintain their the family-friendly reputation, while at the same time I do stories about crazy stuff that happens there all the time.
Thaiger has done a good job covering all the crazy stuff there. So I think that's what we learn.
Yeah,
from Pattaya.
It can happen anywhere, of course. And this is kind of the problem with a country like Thailand that is so reliant on tourism, where there's so many millions of people coming here every single year. There's going to be some bad apples for sure, but they do seem to be congregating in certain places. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, in any case, I think Phuket's a big enough island, and there's a lot of community driven activities and just places to be, rather than Pattaya, which seems to be a little more centered on the party vibe, I think.
Yeah, but it's okay. I think Pattaya is also good. I think Pattaya gives certain uniqueness that maybe Phuket doesn't have. Yeah.
No, it would be boring if it was all the same. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I agree with you on Chiang Mai too. Chiang Mai is one of my absolute favorite places to visit. I think it's when you think of Thailand, that's not what you think usually, and when you go up there, it's just a completely different experience than hitting the beaches. So I'm glad you said that too. Shout out Chiang Mai, and colder weather.
Colder weather. Yeah.
I'm from Florida originally. Mom's in the Caribbean. I never get winters, so it's nice to get up there and actually have to throw on a sweater every once in a while. Well, cool. Well, is there any other aspects about Utopia that you'd like to talk about before we get out of here?
I think the best thing that I would share is that Utopia is a company that cares about its client. 10 years gonna be completed very soon. So there's much more to come. Hopefully we're sitting here in 10 years, part 2.
Yeah, hopefully in a bigger studio. But that'd be great. Well, congratulations on the 10 years, man, and best of luck on all your future endeavors. I'm looking forward to coming down to Phuket and checking out that 7-storied, interesting place. I'm going to look at those pictures right now. But Jay, thank you very much for joining us today. Cheers. All right. Thanks, everybody. Check out Utopia. See you next time. Cool. All good?